So without further ado, we call upon the Prime Minister to come and bring greetings at this time. I'm so thankful that as soon as I ask, and since he's become the leader of the official opposition, every time that I have asked and said, Leader, would you be willing to be part of the National Prayer Breakfast? There's not a hesitation. Immediately he says, yes, I want to be there. Put me down. And we are so honored that the leader of His Majesty's loyal opposition, the Honorable Pierre Poilievre, is coming at this time to share brief remarks as well. Would you welcome the Honorable Pierre Poilievre?
When I first came to the National Prayer Breakfast, it was about 400 people. That was 20 years ago. And then Richard Bragdon came along, and he took the words from the scriptures, go forth and multiply, literally. And here we are, with 1,300 people, a testament to his incredible ability to bring people together from all backgrounds to worship the Lord. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Richard. And I was just talking with the Grand Chief as we looked out at the audience during the incredible music, and we looked at the various degrees of enthusiasm and were able to determine which in the room were Catholic, Presbyterian, and Anglican, and which are evangelical and Pentecostal. It's very evident, wouldn't you agree? Now, you might be wondering why all the politicians are at the front, being recognized in name, and some might be confused into thinking that's because we're the most important. In reality, it's because we're the ones in the room most in need of redemption. And leadership does indeed require humility. As Proverbs said, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before the fall. And faith requires humility, especially from leaders. And faith requires humility in that it is a universally powerful concept that is bigger than any one of us. I think of the Grand Chief's mother, Loretta, reading the Lord's Prayer in an ancient language, Anishinaabe. Of course, first it was spoken in Aramaic by Jesus, and then it was translated into the scriptural classical Greek. And then it has been spoken in languages all around the world, but always with one universal message, bigger than any one language, any one people, and certainly any one person. For me, my faith intersects with my political values in one particular area, and that is the value of free will. God gave Adam free will. You can see this on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the creation of Adam, where God's hand literally reaches out in an attempt to touch the hand of man, and behind it is what is the shape of a human brain. And inside that brain are a number of caricatures. And in that moment, God handed free will to man and said, now you are free to do as you wish. He will judge later on, but in the meantime, man is free to do good or evil. Man is free to decide for himself. And surely, if God can give free will to the people, we political leaders must give the same. We must have the humility to give up control. The word minister in the church is actually the same meaning, root meaning, as minister in politics. The root meaning of it is servant. Prime Minister, therefore, is not first master, it is first servant. The people, of course, in a democratic system are the masters. They choose the commoners who grant and withdraw, hopefully withdraw at some point in the not too distant future, the confidence that allows the ministers to serve. And that service is always rendered with the people on top and the servants in leadership on the bottom. And then the relationship is between people and their God, free from any coercion. That principle requires us as leaders to have humility. And humility is what takes us over the troubled waters, because just as in politics one has to give up control, if one wants to be relieved of the anxiety and the tumultuous stresses of life, one again has to give up control and accept that God is in charge and that He will chart your path and the way will be made straight for you. And nowhere was this message more beautifully passed on during the life of Jesus than in Mark 4:35. Jesus calms a storm. It says, "On that day, when evening had come, he said to them, 'Let us go out across to the other side.' And leaving the crowd, they took him with them in the boat, just as he was. And other boats were with him. And a great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat, so that the boat was already filling. But he was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him and said to him, 'Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?' And he awoke and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, 'Peace, be still.' And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, 'Why are you so afraid? Have you no faith?' And they were filled with great fear and said to one another, 'Who is this that even the wind and the sea obey him?' In other translations, it's the wind and the waves. The wind, the cause. The waves, the effect. God is able to calm the cause and the effect of the troubled waters in our lives. It reminds us, yes, it was not a new message. Those on the boat who would have been schooled in the earlier scriptures of the Psalms would have remembered when God said, before the time of Jesus, "Be still and know that I am God." This is now a refrain used in meditations all around the world. Be still and know that He is God. Be still, the winds and the waves, and calm the waters, bring tranquility to each soul and peace to the world. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. Appreciate that. So without further ado, we call upon the Prime Minister to come and bring greetings at this time.
Bon matin tout le monde. Merci Richard pour ton leadership ce matin. Merci aussi à tous les leaders, politiciens, parlementaires et ambassadeurs d'être ici aujourd'hui pour le petit déjeuner de prière nationale. National Chief Cindy, thank you so much for being here, for starting us off with a land acknowledgement, but also with a beautiful rendition of the Lord's Prayer by elders, by your parents in Anishinaabe. Thank you to the musicians, Richard Paul for getting us on our feet early in the morning, but also looking forward to Natalie and Bernie and all the other performances we're going to have here. But mostly, thank you all for gathering in faith, but also in optimism in these challenging times when we need to pull together, build a better world. It's been important to me to join you here since, as you said, back when Elizabeth May and I were the only party leaders regularly coming to this breakfast. It's a moment of thoughtful reflection and prayer for me. I don't talk an awful lot about my faith, as you all know, but my father raised me to read the Bible every week as a family, saying our prayers almost every night together. My faith grounds me in a way that is real but quiet for me, and it is always a nice moment to be able to share in this place of service that Ottawa is with others who are reflecting on the same sorts of things. This year's theme is Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and as all of you know, there is a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. We see conflicts and division. Young people are worried about their future, whether it's due to the rising costs of living or the impacts of climate change. In the face of adversity, our Christian faith can serve as a strong bridge that carries us over the troubled waters of uncertainty. Our bridge through these challenging times must be paved with optimism and built with the resilience that comes from hard work. Personne ne peut construire un pont seul. Pour bâtir des ponts, il faut travailler ensemble. Et pour travailler ensemble, il faut être guidé par des valeurs communes. L'Évangile nous donne la direction nécessaire avec des valeurs comme l'amour, la compassion, le pardon et l'équité. L'équité, c'est la valeur fondamentale sur laquelle on base notre approche en tant que gouvernement, avec des investissements en santé, dans les garderies, des investissements pour créer des emplois et pour s'assurer que des enfants aient à manger à l'école. We're working hard to make sure everyone has a fair chance at success, knowing that when we elevate each other and support each other, it provides an opportunity for God's gifts to shine within each and every one of us. In our quest to navigate through these tumultuous times, the Beatitudes from Matthew serve as a moral compass, providing us with a path forward in good times as well as in challenging times. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to speak and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, so they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they are called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." The Gospel of the Lord. Merci tout le monde.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, Prime Minister.